and postseason volleyball is here. We have a doubleheader on deck tonight for the first round of the NCAA tournament. First up, the Arizona Wildcats take on the number 7 seeded South Dakota State Jackrabbits in the tournament. The first ever meeting between these two squads, and we are just about underway. Tipped over. Wildcats in the red. They'll get the first point. Starting off strong, the Arizona Wildcats representing the Big 12.
Take another look. They set up Cisneros on the far side. The libero's too late to get over on the dive. The middles are a little late as well. But on that play, Avery Scoggins sent the first swing over.
And the first serve from Cisneros in there for the ace. Arizona up by 2 early on.
So one of the things we'll kind of talk about throughout the broadcast is who is Arizona going to go to other than Jordan Wilson, but a kill and an ace is a good start.
Set from Martin from the middle. Dug up by the Wildcats. The lefty. Big time swing. And getting the touch. Jacks on the board.
And you already see the floor defense of South Dakota State coming into effect there. It's Maggie Meister, the freshman, who's been spectacular getting that first touch, setting it up, and then they get the touch on the block.
No surprise to see Sylvie Sgunts getting the first point here. Arizona now will tool the block. Jordan Wilson, the senior out of Gilbert, Arizona, getting going.
Yeah, that'll be the matchup to watch. Sgunts and Wilson, they set her up. The block is there, just a little bit off. It looks like he goes through the hands of the setter and off to the right side.
Adriana Bridges with the serve. Softly. Arizona recovering from the back row. Roll shot, gonna work out. Cisneros once again.
It's not something Jocelyn Richardson is used to. 17 in blue, wearing the libero jersey. It's one-on-one, they're attacking her, and it just goes past her reach.
4 serving 1 here. Bridges still at the line. That's going to go long. First service error of this matchup now in the books.
And this South Dakota State floor defense has been spectacular all year, allowing its opponents to hit just 152 this season. On comparison, Arizona as a team hits 235. So if South Dakota State can hold Arizona anywhere close to that number, that's exactly what they're aiming for.
Mitchell Weber at the line. There's the touch. Nice dig from the Jacks. The violation going to give the point to the Wildcats. They lead 5-2. So starters for today, Carly Cisneros, of course, for Arizona, Jordan Wilson, Journey Tucker, Avery Scoggins, Brenna Ginder, Adriana Bridges, Renee Jones. Off the block. Surviving are the Wildcats. There's a set for Martin. Big swing. That got the touch. Jack's back within 2.
It's Sgunts again. The setup is perfect. Both of these setters in their 5-1 rotations are both really, really good. Sgunts gets it off the touch and also gets it to hit the back boundary.
Sgunts now at the line. Got the start. But the kill right there for the Wildcats.
Just seems
Journey
like
Tucker.
Everything that South Dakota State has, Arizona has an answer. This time in the middle, it's Journey Tucker, who's a really, really good offensive player that has bounced back well from an early season injury. And they're going to go to the middles a lot.
Riley Martin, Maggie Meister, Madison Burr, Sydney Shetnan, big time dig there. Anna Ventling Brown, Jocelyn Richardson. And the point for the Jacks, they're back within a couple.
One of the things that you see with Jordan Wilson that you don't always see with these high volume outsides is pretty good efficiency. She's been efficient all season, but leaves one just a little bit short there.
Madison Burr with the serve. Blocked. Arizona with the attack once again. Jackrabbits back set. Right on the back line. Madison, ice cold Burr.
Look at the setup. taking it like an outside. She's listed as a middle, but she can play all 6 rotations, and that's one of the big strengths of the South Dakota State team is their versatility.
Point going to Arizona. Of course, both teams coming off of a competitive conference slate. The Arizona Wildcats out of the Big 12. South Dakota State Jackrabbits out of the Summit League. Klein is off the block. Cross court. Big time dig from Weber. Shut down! The Wildcats put up the wall.
It's Bridges that time from the middle. First dig by Weber was great. The get in system outside of that, but then off the block, that's perfectly done, and that's all Bridges, getting up with 2 palms.
Cisneros, Sterney Tucker leading Arizona with 2 kills apiece. Back set on the slide, it'll fall right in. Adriana Bridges joining the party.
Look at the slide. The setup is perfect. It leaves the entire right side open. They're not expecting that the entire time. The middles get over just a little bit late, and Arizona takes its biggest lead of the first set.
And Ginder still at the line. That's off the tape. From the middle, big swing from Sydney Shetnin. That's a name you're going to hear a lot tonight.
She's been so good this year. 2-time Summit League first teamer. Shetnin made the Summit League first team last year and is on pace to get back there this season. She's been spectacular all year.
Back-to-back first team All-Summit League for Shetnin. That's from the back row. Arizona answers. They're the first to double digits.
Just so much velocity on that swing. Take another look. The setup is good. When you're in system, you have so many options, and Jordan Wilson just gets that spring from the back line, and there's nothing you can do to stop her, splitting 2 defenders.
Scoggins with the serve. From the back row, big time dig, it'll fall out. That's the swing from Skuntz.
Almost the exact same play. You go to your #1 outside from the back row, and they can play all 6 rotations like that. It becomes so valuable, and it's a great swing. It's a great dig just to get it back over and keep the possession alive.
Skuntz, the back-to-back player of the year in the Summit League, and the ace falls in for the Jacks. What a turnout from the Jackrabbit fans as well here at Maples Pavilion.
It's a really nice contingent, a lot of blue in the crowd.
Klein with the serve. Out of system from the back row off the tape. The setup for Skuntz. That's off the block. Jacks recover. Softly. Handled at the net. Carly Cisneros all over it.
Both teams out of system. Arizona wins the battle. And it was just, South Dakota State was just out of rhythm more than out of system. It was just they couldn't get anything to go their way on that. It was off the tape, but didn't fall on their side.
Back set from the middle. Shetnin once again.
Maybe a little early on the celebration. Shetnin looked back up and realized the ball was still alive, but look at this swing. When you set up your middles, good things happen. You can't go to the well too often or the efficiency will drop, but right now it's working for the Jacks.
Richardson with the serve. Lefty swing. Renee Jones, the freshman.
And these 2 teams are built very differently. South Dakota State, a very freshman-heavy team. Jones, one of the only leading freshmen on this team, the top recruit in the class, and you can see why. Big, powerful lefty swing.
Georgia Mandotti from Milan, Italy at the line. Off the block. From the middle. Dig from Meister. Jackrabbits survive free ball here for the Wildcats. Cross court. Another big dig. It'll go long. Wildcats add to the tally. Serving 9 here in the first set of the first round. That's going to be the service error into the net. 3rd overall, 2nd for Arizona.
Now this is where you feel like if you're South Dakota State, you have to get a little momentum. You get some on an error by the opposition. Ball just hasn't been falling your way. This is a good time with the ball in the hands of your service.
Mitchell Weber with the serve. In the middle, there's Tucker. Joust at the net. Recovery from the Jacks. Skunts. Dig from Cisneros. Tip. Staying alive, but a free ball here. Tucker again from the middle. Here's Skunts. Did she get the touch? She did not. That goes long. Arizona up by 4.
But that entire play was set up by Madison Burr, who was tremendous in the middle for South Dakota State that entire rally. And then on that last touch, the Guns, a great idea, trying to hug the seam. She just couldn't do it tightly enough.
Haven Ray at the service line, the 5th year out of Peoria, Arizona. The dump! Diving attempt for the Wildcats. They'll play on. On the far side, falls in the back corner. Some momentum building here for the Jackrabbits.
It's back-to-back plays where the best defensive play in the rally really doesn't get the shine, because look at that placement by Madison Burr. She did it on the defensive end, the possession before. Now she gets rewarded on the offensive end.
Skunts at the line. Tied for a match-high 3 kills. Surviving. Tucker on it from the middle. A little miscommunication, but we play on. In the back row, big-time dig. Here's Skunts. Roll shot. Off the block, getting the point. Some power behind that swing from Jordan Wilson. First media timeout of the day. Arizona leading 15-11 over South Dakota State here in the first set. The NCAA Women's Volleyball Tournament is here. For Arizona, they're up 15-11 over the number 7 seeded South Dakota State here at Maples Pavilion on the campus of Stanford University. The Wildcats, this is their first NCAA appearance since 2018 and under head coach Charita Stubbs. She's in her 3rd season leading the way, but her 22nd season overall at Arizona. She was on staff as an associate head coach, as an assistant, and then she also played at Arizona herself, representing her alma mater now. So her Wildcats are leading 15-11 here in the first set. Jordan Wilson to serve. Into the net. Jackrabbits fired up as they are back within 3.
And back to the point about Coach Stubbs, that's what it's all about, right? That's what college athletics are all about, going and giving back to the community that you helped create. And so it's always awesome to see success, especially you look year over year and what Arizona has done, and she's really grown this program.
There's Wilson. Huge dig, joust at the net. Surviving the Jacks. Free ball here for the Wildcats. Here's another one right on the back line. Carly Cisneros. That's her 3rd tonight.
The deke by Tucker was perfect. They thought it was going to the middle, and that allows the middles for South Dakota State to get over just a little bit too late for the finish.
Sophomore Brenna Ginder with the serve. In the middle. Beautiful dive from the Wildcats. Klein off the block. Cross court. The tip. Handled by the Jackrabbits. Swing from Klein again. Dug up. Softly. Wildcats thought there might have been an extra touch, but we play on. From the back row. No doubt about it. 17 for Arizona.
And this is an Arizona defense that has struggled at points this year. It's been the offense that's been the key cog, but all day long, it's been the defense setting up the offense. And when you set up Wilson with that much space, good things happen.
Jordan Wilson now leading the way in this match with 5 kills, hitting .308 for Arizona. On the flip side, Sylvie Skunts, 3 kills to lead the Jackrabbits, hitting .222, but right behind her with a pair, Madison Burr, Sydney Shetnan, both with a couple of kills and hitting .500 so far.
And I think maybe by looking at just kind of the names of these teams and the conferences they play in, you'd think that Arizona was the one that had all the postseason success. South Dakota State has been in the postseason more recently. They took on Miami last season, and there's a lot of experience. You look up and down this roster. Zagantz played relatively well against that in that Miami game last season. Madison Burr had a block. You look up and down the roster, there's just so much more experience in the postseason. On the other end, Arizona played in the National Volleyball Invitational Tournament last season. They won the NVIT last season, but such a different level of experience once you get to this top postseason level.
The first NIVC championship in program history last year back in 2024. They went 4-0 in the tournament. In the championship game, got the win over Bowling Green in 5 sets. This time making their journey in the NCAA tournament. Something head coach Charita Stubbs knows all about. Back-to-back Sweet 16 appearances when she was a starting middle blocker for this Arizona team. And there's head coach Dan Georgalis in his 6th season for the Jackrabbits. Serve out of the break. Overpass. Back set. The tip. Handled by Klein. Dump. Pancaked and saved. Cross court. Shut down. Fired up Sydney Shetnin.
And finally, the defense gets rewarded. Take a look at this dig. I mean, that's the thinnest pancake of all time. And then on the other end, the block from Shetnin to send it down.
Jocelyn Richardson, the junior defensive specialist, with the big-time dig. Tough serve there. That's off the tape. Here's Klein. Roll shot. Outs at the net. Tooling it. Arizona advantage. Jordan Wilson leading the way with 5 kills. There's the service. Here's Klein. Right into the tape. Wildcats now up by 6.
They're starting to feel the momentum. Couldn't tell if it was off the tape or if it was Jones that got her hand on it. Took such a big bounce. I think it was the left hand of Bridges, the middle blocker, that got to it. And that's so hard to defend on the other end.
Out of system for the Jacks. That'll be off the tape. Back set. Lefty. Executes Renee Jones, the freshman.
Sometimes with the freshmen, ignorance is bliss a little bit. Not a ton of NCAA tournament experience. Boom. Doesn't matter.
Serve from Scoggins. Overpass. Back row. Big swing. Arizona the first to eclipse 20 points here in the first set. Largest lead that they have had. They're up by 8.
And it just feels like all the momentum is on Arizona's side right now, and you can see it in the way they're setting up their team. They're in rhythm every time. They're getting South Dakota State out of system and forcing them to scramble a lot. Arizona feels like they have an answer for every single challenge that South Dakota State brings their way. And on the other end, there's South Dakota State floor defense, which has had its moments in terms of the diving digs, in terms of the really nice play at the block to set up those softer digs. Arizona's still hitting 324.
Yes, out hitting the Jackrabbits, who are at 143 here early on in this first set overall as a squad. Jordan Wilson has increased her hit percentage from 308 to 357 with a match high 6 kills.
And that's what she does, right? She's one of the top attackers in one of the top conferences in college volleyball. All Big 12 first teamer this year, and just steadily has been increasing her performance. Last season in the tournament had 57 kills over those 4 matches, averaged almost 4 kills a set. She's also just a really good floor defender, and you can see that when there's so much defensive depth on this Arizona team as well. Everyone with just 2-3 heads towards the ball.
key postseason experience for Wilson and Scoggins, who were all tournament last year in the NIVC, on the way to that championship.
And we haven't even really talked about how good these two setters are. Scoggins and Riley Martin, two of the top setters in their respective conferences.
Scoggins, the reigning freshman of the year in the region last season. There's a big swing right there from Shetnin, the redshirt senior.
Shetnin came to play. The block has been there. The offense has been there. When you need something quick, go to the middle. They had options on the other end with Hannah Klein on the right side, and Shetnin was able to throw it down.
Klein with the serve. Nearly aces it. But recovery from Arizona, free ball for South Dakota State. That's off the block. Got it.
You got to think if there's anyone that wants to win today for South Dakota State, it's this one. Number 13, Annalie Ventling Brown, the fifth-year senior who's been on this program longer than anyone.
Off the block. And getting the point. 22 for the Wildcats. They're up by 7 once again.
Cisneros started the match really hot, had a little bit of a quiet spell when Wilson started to dominate, but she's always someone you have to watch out for.
Skunts puts it down. Jackrabbits not going away.
That's what you need. They've gone to so many different options. It's a very versatile attack, but Zagunts is the top player on this team for a reason.
Undefeated in the regular season in the Summit League. Back-to-back player of the year for Skunts, back-to-back coach of the year for Georgalis. Got the touch there. Skunts with some oomph.
Back-to-back kills as well. That one really nicely done. The floor defense is there. They get in system. Zagunts spots where the blockers are, spins it off the right hand of the blocker, sends it to the side of the gym.
Richardson with the serve. Wilson with the touch. Back to Skunts. Back to another kill. That's her 6th.
And 3 straight possessions. Feed the beast. She's not cooling down anytime soon. She gets it through the blocks, past the libero, and that's perfectly executed.
6 kills, 3 digs, hitting .385 for Sylvie Skunts. Richardson again. Wilson into the net. Point Jackrabbits. They are within 3.
Talk about momentum. This is what it looks like. Your best against our best, and Wilson leaves it just a little bit short. The block was there if it hadn't been left short. And all of a sudden, what was just a 7-point first set is all the way down to 3.
And this is a Jackrabbits team that knows how to fight back-to-back at-large bids to the NCAA tournament. The first at-large bid coming last year in program history. 6th season for head coach Dan Georgalis. 102 wins to 65 losses. We talked about back-to-back Summit League Coach of the Year. But this is a team that's not going to go away quietly.
Absolutely not. And you look at all the experience that this team has when you're talking about the senior leaders, the 5th-year leaders, Sydney Shetnin, a redshirt senior, Annalie Ventling Brown, who we talked about, a 5th-year senior. You also have players that played in the NCAA tournament, and they know what it's like to come from behind. They know what it's like to have to fight. And look, there's a chip on their shoulder. I think they kind of expected to just breeze through the Summit League tournament after going 16-0 in conference play. They lose to St. Thomas in the championship round. The chip on their shoulder is there, and you can see it in this one.
They had just beaten St. Thomas November 8th, 3-1. They go down in the championship match of the tournament, 3-1 with number 3 seeded Tommies on November 25th. They did take the regular season championship, of course, with that 16-0 performance. But they're a little extra hungry here, as you mentioned, Austin. Richardson with the serve. From the back row. Wide. Jackrabbits now at 20. What a run they've gone on with Richardson at the line, a 4-0 scoring run. Make it 5. Softly. Martin calling everyone off. Here's Skunts. Gets the kill! Jackrabbits only down by 1.
Just an unbelievable run that they've gone on. It's Skunts again, who has 4 kills in this little run alone. And this one goes off the hands of the defensive player.
A match high in kills now with 7 for Skunts. Off the block. Here's Skunts again, softly, trying to change it up. Wilson tools it. A much-needed side out for the Wildcats.
Absolutely, you felt the momentum going to South Dakota State, but Arizona gives it to its best player. Wilson, out of system, doesn't matter.
Wildcats trying to stop the bleeding here. At the service line is Georgia Mandotti, senior. Martin, short set, attack error, and now a set point for the Wildcats. Arizona fans on their feet here in Maples Pavilion. Burr. Wilson, who else? Jordan Wilson with her 8th kill seals the deal and gets the win in the first set for the Arizona Wildcats.
And even though it ended up only being a 5-point first set, it's still a lot of good for Arizona, and it feels like they really dominated, minus that little 6-0 chunk that South Dakota State went on.
First one goes to the Wildcats, 25-21. Second set coming up next. Jackrabbits also going to mix in Sydney Shetnan, who's got 3 kills, hitting .600. There's the serve. Skunts starts it off. Kill number 9 this evening. Jackrabbits on top to start this one.
And that might have been the best one so far. Hugging the seam, right down the line, through the trees, gets it up enough to get past the blocker, and then hugs that back boundary.
They went on a scoring run with Richardson at the line late in the first set, trying to do the same here, and they'll shut it down at the net. A quick 2 points for the Jackrabbits.
And that's big because it's their first block. This is a team that averages almost over 3 blocks per set. Didn't have one in the first, but you get the block in the right space and good things happen.
The ace! Richardson been knocking at the door and this time finds the floor.
How about Jocelyn Richardson? One of the best floor defenders in the Summit League is coming through at the line of service, and the runs have all been when she's been there.
Short set, blocked by the Jackrabbits. In the middle, finds the back. Madison Burr getting in on it.
Just an incredible start to the second set. They ask Ventling Brown to pass on the attack on the other end, and then Burr gets the finish.
4-0 scoring run here to start off the second set. Out of system for the Wildcats. Back set. Off the block, falls in. Adriana Bridges, the sophomore, gets point number 5.
5 straight, a quick timeout. Look, Arizona took the first set. All of the momentum is South Dakota State's direction right now.
Arizona takes the first set, the first 5 points for the Jackrabbits up in the second. Over Arizona coming out of the timeout here. It's been quite the run in the beginning of this second set.
And again, it's all with Jocelyn Richardson at the line of service. She's been incredible today.
Back at the service line. Back set. Big swing just wide. 6 in a row.
And of note, not a lot of Jordan Wilson. They go to the opposite this time. Anna Heath, they've got those two lefties, and Heath couldn't put it down.
Wildcats out of system. Softly, pancake. Getting a touch, falling in the corner. 7.
It's like that scene in The Office when they're all watching the screen and they have to get the square into the corner. Look at that. Boom.
This is a South Dakota State team. 23-4 on the season overall. Have not been swept this year. Blocked! The stuff! And it's 8 straight.
And after a blockless first set, they have 2 through the first 8 swings in the second set. And what South Dakota State is doing so perfectly is they're attacking Jordan Wilson. They're not letting her get in system. They're not letting her move around the ball. And, I mean, 2 timeouts through the first 8 points. This is a nightmare scenario for Arizona.
This is a Jackrabbits team that came into the postseason 3rd in the nation with 3.1 blocks per set. 7th in the nation with opposing hitting percentage just at 152. And so far in this one, they're holding Arizona to 189 in the match now, but they are in the negative 429 here in this set. Meanwhile, Jackrabbits 310 in the match overall and a perfect 1,000.
And it all starts with the block. The block really struggled in the first set for South Dakota State. They didn't have a point off blocks. It was okay in terms of, the non-statistical aspect in terms of setting up, making the digs a little bit softer. But now they're starting to really get the positioning on the blocks that they want. They're able to get those fingertips down, send the ball to the floor, and nothing is easy for Arizona right now. And this dates back to the first set when South Dakota State went on that 6-0 run.
This is a big year coming in for the Jackrabbits. They returned 76% of their scoring production from last season. Also their top 3 leaders in kills with Skunts, Shetland, and Burr, and the team leader in every single statistical category, and they've only built on it even more so far throughout this season.
And I think the scary thing is they're not done. They're not losing a ton going into next year. Skunts back, Burr back, a lot of really good freshmen on this team as well.
Richardson continues. Big time dig from Richardson this time. Punched over. The violation going to give the point to the Wildcats. It is their first here in the second set. They needed that break.
Now the question is, how do you build off of that? What do you do? Because it didn't come off something that you did right necessarily. It was something from the other team, an error from the other team. So you have to find something that works.
A near ace. The Jackrabbits survive. 2 on the block there, and the Wildcats build on the bit of momentum.
And they attack Burr on the outside as well. Zagunts is there. Burr got the touch on it, it looked like.
Cisneros with the serve. Short set, big swing, Madison Burr.
Yeah, that's perfect. The back set, Burr's right there. It's short. It allows her to get a lot of velocity on it.
Rachel Weber now at the line. Miss hit. Out of system, free ball opportunity. Back set, over to Burr. Tools the block. Stays in the line.
Back on the near side, I think South Dakota State was arguing it didn't touch it. It's the Gunst over there, but no dice.
Serve is long from Adriana Bridges. The error will bring the Jackrabbits to double digits. They're still leading by 7 here in the second set. Big time kill from Wilson.
Look at Wilson, cross court, They're expecting her to go near side. The read is just a little late for Martin.
Haven Ray. Set from Martin from the back row. Gunts is shut down. What a block from the Wildcats. Take another look at the net presence there from Arizona. 5 serving 10. Martin to Burr, shut down again. Wilson stepping up. She's got 3 blocks tonight.
And that's an area of Wilson's game that hasn't been there as much this season as it has in years past, but she's one-on-one there. There's a middle coming over to help, but that's all Wilson.
A 3-0 scoring run for the Wildcats. Here's Klein. Blocked again. Journey Tucker. Arizona showing their fight now as they climb back from the deficit. Down by just 3 on a 4-0 scoring run as we head into this timeout.
And you take that if you're South Dakota State because you feel the momentum. It started 8-0 South Dakota State. All of a sudden, it's a 7-2 run that they've gone on. And the Jackrabbits, their block was so strong early on. All right, now it's the other way. Now it's flipped. And Arizona, who has such good blocking. You see Bridges, you see Tucker, you see the further down you go, Vanek, who we haven't really seen much tonight, who is one of the leaders on this team. You go to the opposites, Renee Jones, who's been really good on the block. There's just so many options that can do so many things. It allows for fresh legs. It allows for some big springs off the bench. And you can see it really coming into effect here.
Jordan Wilson leading the way with 9 kills, hitting .389. Arizona climbing back up, still in the negative, but just 100 in this current set. They have brought South Dakota State down to right at 0. So overall in the match, Wildcats hitting .214, out-hitting the Jackrabbits, who are at 188. But it has been a pendulum swing back and forth here in the second set. Coming out of the timeout, service from Haven Ray, the 5th year. 7 serving 10. Klein coming out with the fury. 11 for South Dakota State.
Gotta love that. If you're South Dakota State, you go to one of the freshmen, and she places it perfectly. The block has been there. She reads it well. She splits the trees and sends it home.
7 total attacks for Klein in this one. That was her first kill. Burr with the serve. Back row. And the point. Arizona punches back.
This one just kind of has that feel where the teams are going to go back and forth. There's going to be momentum on both sides. And Cisneros there gets the momentum back in favor of the Cats.
8 serving 11. There's Wilson into the net. 5th service error this evening for the Wildcats.
And if Arizona wins, it's going to have to out-hit its opponents. It's not a team that has been great defensively this season. It allows its opponents to hit 222. And so you're going to have to rely on the offense. But those mistakes really hurt.
Attempted dump, joust at the net. Big swing. Gets it done. Cisneros.
Just off the tips of the blocker. Yeah, looks like it got that left pinky of Shetnin.
Reneginder. Klein. The tip. Back set. Big time dig. Touch from the back row, and the point given to the Jackrabbits. Violation by the Wildcats.
That's one where Arizona knew Really good look at a swing from Ventling Brown.
Here's Klein at the line, into the net. Second service error for South Dakota State. Both teams have 2 aces apiece as well. 13-10 still in favor of South Dakota State. Scoggins at the net, miscommunication. Both survive. Dump, beautifully executed. Riley Martin, the junior.
And that dump is such a valuable piece of any setter's game, but when you have a 6-rotation center that you know is going to have to play in the front line, that's something that Martin does well. She's hitting almost 300 this year, and she's averaging about a kill a set. She's been really, really good when her number's been called.
Another ace. Who else but Jocelyn Richardson? She continues to dominate at the service line.
It's so easy for liberos and defensive specialists to get their shine kind of overshined by the big, flashy outsides, but Richardson has been the player of the match for South Dakota State so far.
Nearly another one. Off the block there. Back set. Off the block, gonna tool it.
And that entire play on the first swing, Wilson's on the floor. There's nothing she can do after the diving dig to get up and get back in the offense, and so they have to go to Cisneros, and that's all set up by the perfect serve from Richardson.
Annalie Ventling Brown now with 4 kills tonight. Tied for second on the team. From the middle with some authority, Sydney Vanek, who's in the house now.
They set her up well. It's not a back set, there's not a lot. It's a pretty vanilla play, and she places it perfectly.
16-11 Jackrabbits. Big time swing, Zgunz.
And she came to play. She's been incredible.
9 kills, 5 digs, and a block, hitting .389 tonight. Summit League Player of the Year. Weber. Wilson with the roll shot. Back set to Burr. Softly. Diving attempt. Ginder keeps it up. From the back row, dug up by Richardson. Now it's Skunts. Off the block. Here's Burr again. Arizona survives. Here's Wilson. Richardson with the dig. The volley continues. The dump handled. Wilson one more time. Finds the middle of the floor. What a rally. That's double-digit kills for Jordan Wilson.
Right into the campfire zone. Out of system, but Wilson sees that open space and gets it just in front of the diving dig.
This is an Arizona team that has 31 double-doubles this season. 9 of them have come from Wilson for kills and digs. She's got 10 kills already, 4 digs so far. Near ace. That's gonna go long on the swing from Weber. Arizona within 4.
Yeah, they're right back in it. A lot of momentum going their way. Just getting South Dakota State out of sync.
Georgia Mandotti. Over to Skunts. Mixes it up. Pushed over. Skunts again. She's blocked. Recovery. She'll go for it again. Tucker gets it done. Journey Tucker with her 3rd kill.
And she's been there on the block. She's been there on the attack. She's everywhere. The 3 kills have been great. The defense has been great. The block for Arizona has been spectacular today. And this is a good timeout, I think, for South Dakota State. You still have the advantage. You know Arizona doesn't have any more timeouts left. You can start maybe trying to build some of that momentum back, and it starts with stopping the other team.
And Tucker has had quite the journey, pun intended. She was actually diagnosed with a brain tumor when she was a junior in high school, and she was able to overcome that obstacle and continue playing volleyball her senior year. This Arizona team has done features on her. Just really reminds you how much you gotta love your teammates, your community, and how badly you want to be out there on the court.
Absolutely, and it's a testament to her and her courage and being able to be out there and be as good as she has been her entire career. And you see it in terms of, you know, what she's doing on the court, but also just the way that she's a leader, a symbol of what this team, the greater purpose of this team. That's incredible.
Arizona has climbed back into this second set. They are within 3. Jackrabbits still have control 17-14. But if this second set will be anything like the first one, there was a lot of action and back and forth towards the end. Mandoti again. Off the top, nearly falls in. Great effort from Burr. Skunts gets the point.
And interesting there for Arizona, they made a change at middle. Britt Carlson came in, and the block had been so good. They bring in Carlson, who hasn't played a ton this season, the redshirt junior. She's out in the front line on the right side.
Some positional changes for Arizona this season as well. Vanek started as an outside hitter, has transitioned to middle blocker. Heath was a setter for her first few seasons and has transitioned to an opposite hitter. So pulling out all the tools in the toolbox when your season's on the line.
Yeah, and also I think it speaks to these players to have the selflessness to be able to switch positions and do what's best for the team.
Leah Schlimgen off the block, trying to survive. Jackrabbits do it. Here's Wilson into the block on the recovery. Martin over to Klein. Dug up. Here's Wilson again. Richardson with the dig. Burr punches it. Back set. Huge swing. Britt Carlson making her presence known on the court.
Just into the match, one of the first times today. Boom. So many opposites in that rotation, so many people that can rotate in through the front line. And Carlson, that's a really, really good look for the junior.
15 serving, 18. Into the block. Wilson puts up the wall.
Well, Wilson's definitely on double-double watch. Can we start putting her on triple-double watch? 10 kills, 5 digs, 4 blocks through a set and a half at this point.
It would be her 10th double-double of the season, the 32nd overall for the team. Floated, hit the tape, service error. 6th service error for Arizona tonight. They do have a couple of aces. Jackrabbits have been a little bit more consistent at the service line with just 2 errors and 3 aces. Here's Madison Burr. Wilson with the tip. Huge dig. Arizona in it. Nearly finding the floor, the dive. Wilson off the block. Skunts. Attack error and a break for the Wildcats.
And how about the defense that entire possession for Arizona? The block was there, the floor defense was there, and even though South Dakota State had tremendous digs, you see one there, the overpass was dangerous, and they couldn't get in system.
Wilson at the line. Tough pass and a break for Arizona. They are back within 1. An Arizona team that finished tied for 6th in the Big 12. Off the top. From the back row, Wilson. It's wide. First to 20, South Dakota State.
And this is where South Dakota State has had its most success today, is with Wilson in the back row. When they're able to target her on the serves, she's super effective on the attack when she's springing from the back line. But all right, now they have the ball in their court, and they can attack her on the service. See, they're kind of hiding her in the back on the right side.
Riley Martin to serve. One of the captains on this team for South Dakota State. That's going to go long, no touch. 21-18, South Dakota State.
So Wilson right now, she's basically hiding behind Haven Ray because they've attacked her so much at the line of service, and now she's curling through the middle to try to get the attack off.
Martin with the ace! Fourth ace for the Jackrabbits.
Well, they've got so many bodies crowded back there, and not a single one could stop the ace. And that's telling of a terrific serve.
A little bit of everything from Riley Martin tonight. A kill, an ace, a dig, a block, and 21 assists for the setter. Big dig behind the video board. Klein with the roll shot. Short set, off the block. Tucker with the point.
Really nice rebound by Arizona. They get the Jackrabbits in a little bit of a scurry with the ball close to the roof, and then that allows them to just set up the defense on the other end, and then Tucker splits the middle.
Fourth kill for Journey Tucker. Potential ace, running it down, survival. The Cats trying to come back. Cisneros with the kill. That's her 8th. From the middle, dug up by Ginder. Back row, Wilson runs into a wall. Jackrabbits showing why they're one of the nation's leading blocks.
And there's some good that comes from attacking from the back row and some bad. It allows the block to get a little bit more set and read the spin well, and that time it's read perfectly.
Floated over. Cisneros, that goes long. Set point for South Dakota State. They're up by 4. Jackrabbit fans on their feet. Meister with the serve. Dump, pancaked. Beautiful defense from the Jackrabbits, but an even prettier swing from Cisneros. Arizona not done yet.
And did you expect anything different? The dig, the second touch, and the roll shot, but they're in system, and then Cisneros was hiding and placed it perfectly.
Avery Scoggins with the serve. Skunts! That goes long. Arizona back within 2. Down to the wire once again here in the second set. Somehow Arizona stays with it. Over to Skunts, she's blocked and tools it. Looks like we're gonna get a review from head coach Charita Stubbs. Call on the court is that the point goes to the Jackrabbits. If that stands, they will have taken the second set and will be evened up here at Maples Pavilion.
I mean, there's no reason not to challenge at this point. It's difficult from our angle to see where that ball ended up, but South Dakota State was pretty adamant that that ball went out. So we'll get a look.
This is what we saw in real time.
Couple bodies right in the way of the ball.
Jackrabbits and the Wildcats both fired up after that, thinking that they might be getting the call.
The block was great. It was set up perfectly. Then it's just a little bit about hand placement. Such a difficult play to read.
Maylee Jukes, Stacy DeWitt, Neil Meredith, Angelina Fontana, the officials for us tonight for this first round of the NCAA tournament. First meeting ever between these two squads. We've talked about that a couple of times, but that's one of the things that makes postseason so great is you get to see matchups like this.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. And you think about a school from the Dakotas versus a school from Arizona, and it's just, I mean, it's not something you're going to see in non-conference. It's not something you're going to see in conference, obviously. And here they are.
The call is confirmed, the point to South Dakota State as well as the set. We are all even up here at Maples Pavilion after 2. This is already shaping up to be a great one. The third set is coming up next. Jocelyn Richardson has been lethal at the service line. She'll start there now. Now holds the program record for aces in a season, by the way. The first point coming from the middle for the Wildcats.
Sydney Vanek had been pretty quiet through the first set and 3 quarters. Boom. Nothing you can do to stop that one.
Junior out of Clovis, California. Somewhat of a homecoming, coming back to her home state. Dual sport athlete, also on the Arizona track and field team. Set a record for freshmen in the long jump last year. Burr straight down. Jackrabbits answer.
Get up. It's, I think one of the most fun things to watch in volleyball is watching good middles, and you can see it here. I mean, that's perfect on the attack.
Weber with the serve. Pushed over. Here's Skunts off the block. Into the block. Wildcats bring the roof down.
And it's Journey Tucker again, who's up to 5 blocks tonight. She gets over twice. She has to go right to left, but does it well. And actually, that one's all Jordan Wilson, excuse me.
Both Tucker and Wilson getting credited. 5 blocks apiece this evening. Skunts, the roll shot. Whistle blown. Violation will give the point to the Jackrabbits. Tied up at 2. Sylvie Gunt back at the line. 12 kills, 333. Wilson. Klein tries to push it to the back. Wilson again, dug up by Richardson. Over to Klein. Pancake in there for the kill. Jackrabbits with the lead.
First 2 sets have been all about early momentum, and it's been those teams that have come out on top. Arizona in set 1, South Dakota State in set 2. Now, here we're back and forth through the first 5. This is going to be fun.
Skunts serving again. Tucker, that's off the block. Martin with the back set from the back row. Skunts, that's number 13.
And the block is there. It just leaves a little too much space between the blockers and the net, and that allows that drop right in front. But Wilson, who's been so good on the block the entire match, left on an island.
Wilson. Set up for Klein. Softly. Violation on the Jackrabbits this time, and the Wildcats climb back within 1. South Dakota State hitting 163 overall in the match, but 375 early on here in the third set. Ace in the hole for the Wildcats. They're tied up at 4.
South Dakota State's somewhat neutralized Wilson on the offensive end, hitting just 156. But when she has the ball in her hand, good things happen.
2 service aces for Wilson. Miscommunication there. Wildcats recover. Dig from Skunts. From the back row, softly. Reset for the Wildcats. Cisneros in there for the kill. Arizona retakes the lead. A dozen kills for Carly Cisneros.
Well, yeah, one of my biggest questions coming in was who's going to take the scoring load if it's not Jordan Wilson, and the answer has been clear. Cisneros has been great.
Overpass. On top of it, Avery Scoggins.
And this is where having a 6 rotation setter becomes so valuable. On those overpasses, when she can get up, Scoggins stands at 6 feet. She's not short by any means, and so she's able to get up and get it down.
First kill of the night for Scoggins. And the Jackrabbits get a bit of a break. They're back within 1. So 300 overall hitting percentage for South Dakota State, 400 for Arizona in this set. Service from Schlimgen. Right into the block. Shatnin shuts it down.
You see why Schlimgen's brought in, because that serve was perfect. It got Arizona a little bit out of sync, just a different look, and then Shatnin, perfect.
Schlimgen, a captain alongside Martin for this Jackrabbits team. Here's Wilson from the back. Big dig out of play, just out of reach. Arizona retakes the lead. $11 kills for Jordan Wilson, hitting 182. Does have a couple of aces in her back pocket with 6 digs and 5 blocks. Georgia Mondotti. Dump. Handled by Arizona. Over to Cisneros. Sneaks it in. 13 kills for number 12.
Just such an impressive display from her tonight. From being kind of the 1B to Wilson's 1A to really taking over this match.
Klein. That goes long. Wildcats now up by 3.
And if you're South Dakota State, you have to be able to keep the ball in play because, like we mentioned, this Arizona team is a team that has struggled a bit defensively this season. And so when you make errors when you're hitting just 144, I mean, it makes it easier for Arizona to get back in the game and at this point have the lead in the third.
And a challenge right here that's going to be under review to see if there was a touch. That's what our officials are taking another look at. Video review has been something that has grown quite a bit in the last several seasons across college sports. We can take another look here. In real time, when I first saw it, I did not see a touch. Do we see fingers going backwards? The call in the court, of course, is that it went long and the point goes to Arizona.
I think this look is going to be the most telling.
Is that
Maybe
enough to overturn?
Yeah, again, I think the big point here is that the call is that it was long without a touch. I think if it had originally been called the other way, maybe it stands. I just don't think there's conclusive evidence either way. And again, that's going to be the big one.
Might see a fingertip there, but might be a little bit too close to call to overturn.
Yeah, you can't really see the spin of the ball change. But I think closer than I originally anticipated seeing that. Just maybe not enough to overturn. Not a bad challenge by any means.
The call on the court confirmed. Arizona retains the point. And that makes a difference, right? Because it goes from 9 to 6 potentially to 8 to 7.
Right.
Which is why head coach Georgalis thinking about utilizing that review. Now 9 serving 6. At the net, the joust. Martin keeps it up. Klein, a little mistimed in the back row. Gets the touch that time, and Wilson continues to roll.
If they really start getting her going, and that, take that with a grain of salt because she's still averaging 4 kills a set today, but if they really start getting the efficiency up, that's when Arizona can run away with this one.
4-0 scoring run for the Wildcats. With Mondotti at the line. In the back row, Skunts cutting that off. 14 kills.
Skunts had double-digit kills in every match this season. The last time she didn't was last year's NCAA tournament. She's taking whatever she faced last season in the tournament and saying goodbye. This is a completely different player. 14 kills on 367.
Led the team in the last couple of matches in the category, as that's going to find the floor. Arizona surpassing the double-digit mark. They're up by 4.
Zvanek again on the slide. Again, she'd been quiet the first couple sets, and now 2 kills this set alone.
Scoggins. From the middle, keeping it alive, Richardson. What an effort. Cisneros with the touch. Jackrabbits, a free ball here for the Wildcats. Off the touch. Here's Klein. Big time dig from Wilson in the back. Softly. Arizona wins the rally.
And that's just so deflating if you're South Dakota State to be in such a scramble the entire possession, to get a good look on an overpass, to have to have Ventling Brown send one over, and then Jordan Wilson, who they've asked to do so much more this season in terms of passing from the back row, plays it perfectly.
Even more mental than it is physical, the longer the rallies go. Wildcats have extended this, the largest lead of 5 here at the timeout, 12-7 over South Dakota State. So they have been playing some solid competition. And then Arizona, of course, coming in from the Big 12, who led the nation with the most teams in 10 in the NCAA tournament and an RPI of 42. At the net, timing it perfectly, Vanek, no panic.
I think they're going to call a net violation. Yeah.
Yeah.
Saw it late there. Yeah.
You see some contact there with the tape. So a bit of a break here for South Dakota State. Meister with the serve. Cisneros, big dig, off the net. The whistle is blown, and Arizona with some momentum coming out of the timeout.
So now violations, back-to-back plays going both ways, kind of evens out.
Cisneros back at the line. He's got 1 ace on the day. And a big swing from Jordan Wilson, lucky number 13.
Overpasses are so dangerous generally, but you get it to someone as good as Jordan Wilson, and she's just not going to make a mistake there. The block is a little bit late.
Skunts finds the back corner. That's her 15th kill. She's already got a double-double tonight. 11 digs to go with it. Hitting .387 now.
And that's her corner. I mean, she's made that her own, whether it's going cross-court or hugging the seam.
Richardson at the line. Vanek on it. Sydney Vanek has certainly made an impact since coming in and getting her time on the court. Arizona the first to 15, serving 9. Back set. Burr keeps it up. Skunts this time. Wilson, roll shot. Here's Wilson again. That goes long. Double digits now for the Jackrabbits, trailing by 5.
Solid defensive rally there for South Dakota State. They give it to Wilson one too many times. She just misses a little bit long. But for South Dakota State, again, it's the defense that's leading the way. Now I feel like someone other than Zaguns has to really step up on the attack.
Off the block. Over to Skunts. Into the block. Recovers. We'll set her up again. Getting the touch, getting the kill. Match high 16 for Sylvie Skunts.
Yeah, maybe not. Maybe they can just feed her. She's been incredible. They're out of system. She gets it back off the block and is still able to get it through the touch the second time. She learned so much in those 2 milliseconds about where the block is going to be.
Journey Tucker bringing the momentum back to the Wildcats.
And part of why the breakout of Vanek in this third set is so dangerous is because it allows Journey Tucker to get those fresh legs under her and really get the spring back. And you see it there. She gets way up.
5 kills, 5 blocks, hitting .333 for Journey Tucker. Haven Ray to serve. Cross court to Skunts. From the back row. Keeping it up, free ball here. The dump. Handled. Burr on the slide. Overpass. To Burr once again. That's off the block. Here's Skunts. Dug up by Ginder. Wilson. Dug up by Meister. Here's Skunts again. We play on. Tucker puts it away. Couple of long rallies that have ended with the Arizona advantage in this set.
So much momentum now going their way. When you win a long one like that, especially doing it on a play that is that simple where you just go to your middle and feed Journey Tucker, that's so dangerous. That's so much momentum, and all of a sudden it's a 6-point lead.
17-11, Arizona leading South Dakota State in the third set. Arizona, South Dakota State will face off against the winner of Utah Valley and Stanford, who are watching on to see who will move forward from the first round. Into the block! Wildcats!
The block has been so good. The defense has been spectacular for Arizona on this little run they're going on.
Journey Tucker leading for Arizona with 6 blocks. The dump from Martin, handled. Wilson, the dump again, handled again. Dump this time from Arizona, back and forth, but Tucker puts it away.
And that's when it becomes really scary, I think, for South Dakota State, is when you kind of have to try some tricks, some dumps, some things that you don't usually do in your offense.
Skunts off the block. Tucker puts it over. Trying to push to the back line. Wildcats recover. Here's Skunts again with the tip. Changes it up. 17 kills. Just 2 away from the 19 that she put up in the championship game of the Summit League.
And that's incredible. She goes up full force and then just drops it in.
Wilson keeps on swinging. Tied for a team high 14 kills. Arizona the first to 20 points here in the third set. A commanding 8-point lead. Anna Heath, the senior out of Murphy, Texas. The lefty serve. Short set, Madison Burr, ice cold.
And that feels like the first time that South Dakota State has gone to someone else on the attack and had it be successful in a while. But Burr's been really solid today, or really solid this season on the attack. Efficiency hasn't been there today, but the quantity has, and she gets it through the blocks there. Someone who needs to step up late for the Jackrabbits.
Leah Schlimgen with the serve. Here's Wilson. Gets the point. Wilson continuing to roll, now hitting over 200 at 209. Team high 15 kills. 8 digs, just a couple away from the double-double. Mondodi again. Richardson cross court. Van Kirk on the court now. The transfer. The kill. Wildcats going in for it.
With no timeouts left now, it feels like South Dakota State is kind of in do or die mode. Bringing in some new faces, trying some new things. Just trying to see if something will stick going into the fourth.
Jackrabbits trying to crawl their way back.
Yeah, they'll take that. Service errors are a good way to get back into it. Of course, not really something you force necessarily, but it counts all the same.
There's the service. Wilson from the back row. Too many touches. Jordan Wilson now with 16 kills.
Seems like the game script is going exactly like we expected. Jordan Wilson leading the way, Sylvie Zonk leading the way. It's just been a 1-2 punch for both of these teams.
Service error, a bit of a break for the Jackrabbits. They still trail by 8.
This is right about in the first set where South Dakota State started to come back in it, where they had that 6-0 run late in the first set.
Van Kirk at the line, the transfer from Boise State. Vanek. Another one. Her 6th kill, and now it is set point for Arizona.
And this has been the set of Sydney Vanek, who came into the set with just 1 kill, has 5 here in this third set alone to bring it to set point.
Hitting .556. Cisneros. Martin short set. Diving dig. Wilson tries to push it. Can't connect, and that's going to do it. The Arizona Wildcats come back with this one. 25-15. Wildcats lead 2-1 as we head to the fourth in the first round of the NCAA tournament at Maples Pavilion. As Arizona is out hitting South Dakota State 267 to 136 overall in this match, 405 to 154 in the last set. Cisneros with the serve. Burr with the first point. Jackrabbits get it started.
The real issue that South Dakota State has had the last couple sets is who else is going to score? Who else is going to put a ball to the floor? And there, Madison Burr, with her 7th, she's second on the team. If she picks up the efficiency, that's when it's going to get really, really dangerous.
Now she serves. Back set. Big dig from Meister. Back row, Burr. The touch. Some communication from the officials. The point does go to South Dakota State.
The original call was that it was out, I believe, and they gave the point originally to Arizona, but Burr knew the entire time.
Jacks up by 2. Here's Wilson. Fires back. 18 kills. Match high.
She's unstoppable. I really don't know what else there is to say right now about how good she's been today. She can do it from any angle. She can put it anywhere on the floor.
All Big 12 first team honors this season. Into the block. Here's Skuntz with the roll shot. In the back row, puts it down. Cisneros with 15 kills.
That second cog is so valuable because when Wilson does get shut down, they need to go to someone else, and Cisneros has been stellar in her role.
Wilson and Cisneros, 2 peas in a pod as that serve will go long. South Dakota State gets a bit of a break, but to your point, Austin, Sylvie Skuntz with 17 kills. The next person on the team is Madison Burr with 8, whereas there are 2 double-digit killers on the Arizona side, and then Journey Tucker right behind him with 7. Weber with the serve. Timing a little bit off, but it's going to work. Jordan Wilson, how many times have we said that name?
More than enough. I mean, she's making an impact on every play. Again, because even when she isn't directly on the attack, she's impacting every play. There's got to be a pair of eyes at least on her at all times.
Martin over to Skuntz. Off the block, off the net. Short set. Diving attempts, but it falls right in. Wildcats retake the lead.
And again, if you look at their attackers, Wilson has 19, Cisneros has 15. Now Tucker has 8 and Vanek has 6. So there's been 4 players that they can really go to at any time to get them a point.
Tough serve. And the dump! Scoggins! Sneaky.
This is where Arizona started to create separation in the last set as well. It was back and forth through the first 5 serves, and then Arizona took over.
Here's Skuntz. She'll tool it. Jackrabbits answer, and that's the 18th kill for Skuntz. Wilson, once again, 20 kills for Jordan Wilson.
As crazy as this is, as crazy as this might sound, I think this, with Jordan Wilson in the back line, might be a good thing for the Jackrabbits. This is where they've had success when they're able to attack her on the serve. You just got to get a quick side out.
Another tough serve. The Jackrabbits survive. Wilson from the back row, surviving. Cisneros, and she'll tool it. 16 kills for Cisneros. She's coming off a double-double with a team-high 19 kills alongside 16 digs in the last regular season match in the Big 12 against Cincinnati.
I think it would be cool to see velocity of these swings, because that first one from the back row was unbelievable.
7-4, Arizona in the lead in the 4th set over South Dakota State. Season on the line here in the NCAA tournament. SDSU down 2-1. They're down by 3 here in the 4th set. The regular season champions in the Summit League. Got the back-to-back at-large bid to the NCAA tournament, the 3rd time in league history that 2 teams have made it to the NCAA tournament. Klein. Cisneros. Shut down. Sydney Shetland.
Her vertical is fantastic, but if you look at the extra reach that she gets on those fingertips as well, it's perfectly placed, and she tucks the elbow in just enough on that last bit to make sure she doesn't get a net violation as well.
Richardson back at the line. Tucker goes long. Jackrabbits back within 1, and they continue to be successful with Richardson at the line. She came into this tying the program record for single-season aces with 38. She has now surpassed that and owns it outright. Into the block. Klein. Scoggins sets up Cisneros with the tip. And she gets it done, changing it up, the versatility from Carly Cisneros.
What a match for her. Cisneros, who was so good last season and then took a little bit of a step back in her efficiency. I mean, this is the trajectory that she's been on. She's been so good recently. Double-digit kills, 6 of her last 7 matches played. And you see it today. She's been tremendous.
Cross-court setup. Into the block. Arizona back with the 3-point lead.
It's a good look for Van Kirk. The block has been there all day. And it's Scoggins that time getting up.
Burr with the tip. It's wide. Wildcats first to 10 here in the 4th set.
Love the idea, though, from Burr. The efficiency hasn't been there. She's at triple zeros now. But it's perfectly executed. It's just a little bit wide. But there's no one there.
Back set. Burr into the net. A 5-point lead for the Arizona Wildcats.
And they keep feeding Burn for good reason. She's been that second option, but Sagonk has got to get back into this one. They want any chance, if the Jackrabbits do, want any chance of getting back into it as a team.
Sylvie Skunts with 18 kills, hitting .349, the 12 digs and the block to her name. Jordan Wilson, just phenomenal, 20 kills alongside 8 digs with an ace and 5 blocks, hitting .286. Now here in the 4th set, and Carly Cisneros, what a 1-2 punch with 17 kills, hitting .231, an assist, a couple of aces, 12 digs, and 2 blocks. Another double-double for her.
And this little run that Arizona's gone on has, unfortunately for the Jackrabbits, been on their own errors. Back-to-back attack errors from Madison Burr, an attack error from Caitlin Van Kirk, and those are things that you can't live with at this point, both in the season and in the match. Look, their backs are against the wall right now. Down 2-1, chance for Arizona to close it out. You've got to change something. They've gone to Madison Burr. That hasn't really worked. They've got to find someone to go to other than Sylvie Zagonk, or just go back to the player that's still in her 43 swings, hitting .350.
And Arizona out-hitting South Dakota State significantly here in the 4th set so far. 500 for the Wildcats, even 0 right now for the Jackrabbits. Out blocking the Jackrabbits as well, 10 on the match to 6. 11 serving 6. Cross court, Van Kirk. Making it hurt.
Love it. You saw her first swing. It was a really good look. They set her up on that far side, and she just got it off the block a little bit. But she keeps attacking the block, and it's a veteran. She knows what to do.
Captain Riley Martin, the junior, serving. Cisneros. Free ball. Scoggins with the back set. Sydney Vanek.
Unbelievable to consider how cold she was. It really didn't even factor in much at all in the first couple sets. And now in the last 2, she's been such a big, valuable piece of this team.
Attempted push from Burr. Short set to Vanek. No panic. Add the 8th kill of the day.
She's just unstoppable right now. Both ends of the floor. She sets up the block on the defensive end and then gets back into position to send it down on the other.
636 she's hitting in this match. right down the line. The Wildcats starting to get in a groove.
And no timeouts left for South Dakota State either. And look, if South Dakota State doesn't stop Arizona's momentum, nothing will.
Short set in the middle. Vanek keeps it up. Cisneros. There's the setup. Ventling Brown got it over. 2 on the block. The Wildcats the first to 15, an 8-point lead here in the 4th set. They seem to be on a mission.
Back-to-back from Britt Carlson, who, again, didn't factor in the first 3 sets much. And now they've got 4 or 5 players that feel like they can score at any point.
The service error, a bit of a break for the Jackrabbits. Double-digit service errors for Arizona in this one. Still just the 2 for South Dakota State. 8 serving 15. Van Kirk at the line. Back set cross court. The tip. Skunts! There she is. That's kill number 19.
And they really needed to get Zgunts going. They set her up well. She pops back from her position on the block and is able to get back and get a good look at a swing. And look, 6 is nothing that they can't come back from. We've seen a 6-0 run already from them today.
Cisneros. She goes wide. Double digits now for the Jackrabbits.
Yeah, we saw an 8-0 run from them to start the 2nd set, and that was the one that they won. All right, they're 3/8 of the way there.
Skunts led the Summit League with 4.3 kills per set. That was 36th in the nation. Big time swing again from the middle.
And it's Vanek again. And this, it's too early for them to start looking forward, but if they can get Vanek really going on the offensive end and open it up with Tucker and Bridges in the middle have both been great, that's so scary.
1 kill away from a 3rd double-digit killer, but the Jackrabbits answer.
And of course, a 20-piece from Sylvie Zgunts, who's, like we mentioned earlier, come back from a tough postseason last season and been exactly what the Jackrabbits could have asked for.
Wilson and Skunts, 20 kills apiece to lead this thing. Back set, tip. Skunts again into the block, recovers. From the middle, Vanek. It's wide. South Dakota State back within 4. Jordan Wilson and Carly Cisneros both with double-doubles now as well. 20 kills Wilson to 10 digs, 17 for Cisneros, and 12 digs. Arizona going to challenge, say that the ball was in, and it does look close down the line on the replay.
Yeah, that's one of those where we'll have to get that really up close and personal look, but just from the first look, I mean, that was a 50-50 ball at best in terms of South Dakota State's chances on this one. The fact that it was called out on first look probably helps the Jackrabbits, but they're going to need something in their favor.
The officials get multiple looks, as you can see the swing there. That's from Vanek. If it gets overturned, it would be her 10th kill tonight. She's already hitting 500 as it sits right now. And it does just need to touch the line.
And the referee is right there. He's all over that spot.
It may be in.
And I think it's one that, if you are the referee, you call out almost no matter what, because on review it's more conclusive I think it's more conclusive if you can see that it hits the white line than the other way around. So knowing if there's a challenge in your back pocket.
The call is reversed. It's in. It's the 10th kill for Vanek. The challenge successful for Charita Stubbs and company. And it goes from 16 to 12 on the initial call now to 17 to 11.
Also moves Jordan Wilson back to the front line. And so now it's Wilson and Tucker in there together.
17 serving 11. Martin Skunts with the tip. Pushes to the back. Richardson handles. Short set. Big swing. Shetland.
Both Shetland and Ventling Brown have been pretty efficient today when they've gotten their opportunities. Not a lot of attack errors between the two of them. It's just been so impossible to get space through the middle with what Tucker's been doing on the defensive side.
4 kills apiece for Shetland and Ventling Brown. Shetland hitting .333 now. Here's Wilson. Puts it down. 21st kill of the night. Haven Ray, the 5th year. Big swing. Whistle's blown. Point given to the Jackrabbits.
It's just a 5-point set. Zagans is in the back line. We've seen her attack from the back. She's had success at the line of service this season.
Wilson getting it done once again. She's feeling 22.
Not often you see a pair of attackers finish with 20 or more kills. We might see 3 today, with Cisneros needing 3 more to get there. Zagans is already there, Wilson's already there. And Wilson checks out.
Wilson came into this 5th in the Big 12, 17 in the nation, 4.58 kills per set. 4th in the Big 12 in points per set, 5.04. Here's Cisneros with the tip. Pancake. Jackrabbits just survive. Cisneros again. Off the block. Over to Van Kirk. It goes long. They say there's no touch. Wildcats get to 20.
And again, that's such a heartbreaker when the defense does so well to keep it up twice, and then it just can't go through on the other end.
And a Heath. Tough serve, the overpass. Tucker sends it down, gets another one. That's
just
number 9.
It's just a missile from Anna Heath, who we haven't really seen serve today. But man, it's a laser from the left side as well. Such a tough read on the other end.
3-0 scoring run for the Wildcats. Another tough serve. Van Kirk off the block. From the back row, Skunts. Getting the touch and the point. 21 kills, .354 hitting percentage, 14 digs and a block for Skunts.
This deficit is not her fault whatsoever. She's shown up and been terrific.
Tough serve and the ace.
And you can say the same thing about Jocelyn Richardson. When South Dakota State has gone on its biggest runs of the day, it's been with Jocelyn Richardson at the line of service, and that is, there's a reason for that.
41 on the season. Again, the program record. Jordan Wilson on a tear.
On the back set, it was a little bit of a screen almost from Journey Tucker right in front of her. That allowed her to choose the direction that she spun it, and Wilson picked right.
Van Kirk. Free ball. The dump. Back set to Burr. That's wide. Arizona 2 points away from surviving the first round of the NCAA tournament. Mendota, the senior. Overpass. From the back row, Wilson in there on the back line. The 24th kill. It's 24 karat gold for Jordan Wilson. Match point, Arizona.
It's like South Dakota State's going to challenge, but Jordan Wilson, I mean, feels like we've used a lot of adjectives on her. She's been everywhere. She's doing it from every direction as well. When you've got her that can play 6 rotations. You've got a 6 rotation setter in Avery Scoggins. Those two have been incredible. Carly Cisneros with 17 kills. And I think that one was pretty clearly in.
And South Dakota State, of course, challenging that it was out. Take a look at the slow-mo, and yep, the call confirmed that it was in there on the back line. Beautifully placed. So the match point stands for Arizona. They are up by 9. As Mandoti continues at the line. Free ball here for the Wildcats. Will they set it up? Here's Cisneros off the block, and that's going to do it. Carly Cisneros with the exclamation point. Her 18th kill, and the Wildcats take set number 4 in the first round of the NCAA tournament. They survive and advance over South Dakota State.